Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Smart Chat here on YouTube.com. Want to do a quick little video, raw thoughts from September 29th, 2014. Few things that pop up into my head. First, the booking is kind of weird, to be honest with you. I don't know if you felt it being weird. Because I felt it being weird over the last few weeks. For example, last week, Seth Rollins at ringside. John Cena is there. John Cena has a problem with Seth Rollins, and he doesn't attack him, doesn't go after him. This week, John Cena, in the main event, wants to go after Seth Rollins. So he does a complete 360, a complete 180. Is it 180? A complete roundabout where last week he doesn't want to attack him. Now, this week he does. Speaking of which, you have Dean Ambrose, who, quite honestly, with Roman Reigns being out of action, Daniel Bryan still being out of action, you had Dean Ambrose having a, continuing his feud with Seth Rollins. Here's my thing. Dean Ambrose is probably the number 2 babyface right now of the company. Now, he has, in my opinion, a little bit of a Brian Pillman, Roddy Piper in him. WWE is giving him the opportunity to be that number 2 face. Now, granted, some of the lines that he did in his promo this past week were funny. I thought they were funny, but they didn't really resonate with the audience. Maybe because the audience was not too into it. Maybe it was the time frame of the show or where that segment was placed. But it feels like Dean Ambrose is missing a little bit of something a little bit. But nonetheless, this is his opportunity, based on how he's been featured, to run with the ball and be the number 2 face of the company. In the same regards, too, my little concern and worry, you are this fringe lunatic, or that's what you portray. Again, he reminds me a little bit about Brian Pillman, Roddy Piper. But Dean Ambrose is nothing like them, in the sense of Dean Ambrose really is like a subdued fringe lunatic. Now, Brian Pillman play that role to a T. But here's my question, what I worry about. How does this come off where Dean Ambrose is this fringe lunatic, crazy guy, but he's been feuding for Seth Rollins for what now? 5-6 months, and he still can't get his hands on him. Doesn't Dean Ambrose lose a little bit of credibility? Another thing, this is what I want to mention about how the writing seems a little bit kooky. This week, after Mark Henry basically loses to Rusev, last week, all mad after Rusev, all Mr. USA, this week he completely abandons it and is facing Bo Dallas. Like all of a sudden he lost and he just gives up on going after Rusev, getting his revenge. I don't understand. It's just weird storytelling. Also, in the same regards to, you speak about Bo Dallas, who's feuding with Jack Swagger. I don't know even if you call it a feud. But all of a sudden, where's Jack Swagger now? He seemed to be getting pushed. And now he's back, nowhere to be seen again. Just my thoughts, my opinion. It seems like the Wyatt family, based on the vignettes from this past Raw, will be broken up, and Luke Harper is going, it seems like, his separate ways. Now my question to you guys would be, who would you, since you're breaking this faction up, and I don't understand why Vince is, why mess up something that's good? Who would you want to see become face? Ultimately, I think the most logical sense would be Bray Wyatt, being that already the crowd already cheers for him, and we already kind of know who he is, more so than Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. With that being said, Luke Harper reminds me of the modern day Bruiser Brody, which says a lot. I think he could be that guy. Really, with this bunny, keeps on going on and on and on. Gotta shake my head. You also had Gator Slater versus Los Matadores. You got a gator running after a bull. A little bit, it just makes you scratch your head and wonder why this is on. I really believe that people want to see a wrestling match. People watch wrestling to watch actual wrestling. Sometimes watching Raw makes me scratch my head and makes me say, where's wrestling? And you always, seems like Raw always opens up a segment with not a match, with a promo. Why not? Can we open up Raw with a wrestling match? Speaking of opening up the promo, speaking of opening up Raw, it was opened up with a promo yet again. And Stephanie McMahon basically, gotta admit, burned Chicago fans and CM Punk, basically saying that he is a quitter. Why root for him? One last thing before I go as far as my thoughts on Raw. You had Brie Bella, or is it Brie Bella? Brie Bella or Nikki Bella? Brie Bella Handicap Divas match. At the end, the yes, yes, yes crowd does it with her. Listen, let's not get it twisted. Brie Bella is not over. They were simply yesing just to do something, and because it's Daniel Bryan's calling card, so to speak, which makes me also, speaking of which, when Daniel Bryan does come back, I think he will be straight back in the main event picture due to the fact that there are no real baby faces besides John Cena. That's pretty much the main reason. He'll be straight back in the main event picture. Just some of my thoughts about Raw. Let me know what your thoughts are. Until next time, adios, over and out. Check out the Tom Brand 1. It's funny. Please.